Hello, everybody. Man, I kind of wanted to just keep listening to that song. I was ready to go a couple of minutes ago, but man, I was like, tired of waiting on Roosevelt, I suppose. But yeah, really fun. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. I have a brand new concept for you guys tonight, at least new to me. I haven't seen any other whiskey tubers do exactly this. And this is something I've had in my mind for a little while, and I've really kind of wanted to do it. Finally pulled the trigger just a couple days. So here is the premise. I have, and you can see this down in the description below, so anybody watching this in the camera's focused on me in the back. What? It's not, actually, okay, sorry. That's annoying. It looked fine to me from, man, I swear, I have more problems. There we go. The problem is I can't have this on auto. That's much better. All right. I can't have this on auto. Otherwise, I have all kinds of stuff on the screen. All right. So let's try that again. Anyway, the premise here is, and if you look down in the description below, you can see it. I have cataloged my whole whiskey collection, which oddly enough was exactly 200 bottles. And I wanted to let you guys tell me what to blend. Tell me what you think would sound good. Thanks, Steve. And you did. So I got several responses. Thankfully, I'm aiming to do about 3 of these each time I do this kind of stream. So if you want to submit any, you have a pretty good chance of, me picking them and whatever. So here's what I'm going to do. Whoever wins of the 3 people that submitted tonight, one of the guys is offshore, but I'll figure something else out there. If you are in the US, I will send you not only a Whiskey Dictionary glass, but I'm also going to send you just a mini bottle of the blend that won, because it makes sense that you got to taste what you tried. Or what you suggested. I think that's a cool concept. If you're offshore, I'll just send you a whiskey glass and maybe like a challenge coin or something like that. We'll make it work. All right, so since no other whiskey tuber does this, now I'll steal your idea and claim I am the original. Well, that sounds good, Eric. Go for it. All right, it is the internet after all, and all you have to do is claim that it's yours. So let me tell you about the 3 different blends that we have coming up tonight. So the first one, I'm going to kind of go through each one of these, and then I'm going to actually blend them, and then I'm going to taste them individually, see if they're any good, and then I'm going to taste them side by side and see which one I think is the best. So that's the premise for tonight, but as always, the chat is open. Let's do some chatting. So the first one comes from Jonathan. Now, Jonathan wants me to actually a pretty good little way to start off. So he wants to do Old Forester 1920 and then Michter's Rye and then a small amount of Ardbeg 10. I like this a lot because a lot of times a bourbon can really benefit from a little bit of smoke. But then once you add the rye in there, I mean, obviously bourbon can benefit from a lot of rye. So as long as I don't overdo it on the Ardbeg 10, I think this actually could come out pretty good. So I brought a little jigger with me just to help me kind of get the parts right. But, I'm going to be a little fast and loose here. All right. So, All right. Let's move on to the next option here. Next, we have from Zoltan, we have Glenmorangie Port Cask Finish, Dalmore Port Wood Finish, and then a Glenmorangie, A Tale of Winter. So we'll have to see how this one turns out. I love the direction that this one's going, just kind of really digging into that wine finish, but specifically the port. I think this is a really cool choice, Zoltan, so we'll see what comes of this one. Up next, the last one for tonight is going to be from Ronan, and this one's just a twofer. So a twofer, two at once. This is the Tyrconnell Madeira, and then a little bit of Kalila. And I think this is interesting. And he specifically said in his submission that he thought that Irish whiskey can really benefit from peat, and just there's not enough out there to really make it work. So he kind of was like, I think the Kalila would be a good spirit to do. And he's probably not wrong, because Kalila 12 is in so many other different expressions just as a blend that it probably will blend pretty well together with the Tyrconnell. But I love the direction, like Scottish and Irish. That's an interesting combo. All right. First off, while I've got the premise down, I do want to say some hi to some of the people in the chat. So as always, Steve A, one of the best supporters of this channel. He's a very friendly guy, does so much for the channel, and even tells me when my visuals suck. We got Donner Pass in here, Mamuka, a lot of familiars. Donner Pass again. Let's see, chatty people. David, Alexander, nice to see you. John Crass, John Kranz, although crass wouldn't be entirely inappropriate. Eric Waite, Whiskey Studies, I suppose. David Belcher, that's all right. Let's see, who else? Oh, Archie Tyler's here. Nice. Archie, Jaffa, and Dram Ma'am, only Dram, no drama. That's interesting. I suggest you blend the Glenmo Signet with some more Glenmo Signet. I would totally agree with you there. Glenmo Signet is fantastic, although I'm so annoyed that it's gone up so much in price. It's worth it. I mean, really, it's delicious. It's kind of worth the price, but it's also like, damn it, that was only $180. Now it's like over 200. Jonathan, hey, nice to see you. Whiskey is a Journey, nice to see you. Sipping on some Glenmorangie 18, very nice. That one's a pretty tasty dram. Speaking of tasty drams, so let's go ahead and pour this first one because I'm dying to know how this premise is going to work, and I think it's going to work out pretty well. So this first one is going to be 2 parts Old Forester, 1 part Michter's Rye, and then half a part of Ardbeg 10. So for the sake of this, I'm going to use a 1/4 of an ounce as a part, or no, I guess I'll use a 1/2 ounce as a part. Yeah, I'll do it. No, I don't have an 1/8 ounce on here, but maybe I'll just eyeball that. So I'm gonna try with a 1/4 of an ounce, and we'll see. So if this one's gonna be 2, so we're gonna do half an ounce. Boop, 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 boop. All right, so 1/2 ounce Old Forester. I was thinking about like busting out pipettes and stuff and like making this scientific, and then I realized I didn't care that much. Because ultimately, if I get an extra couple mil in here, it's not really a big deal. All right, so 1 part Michter's Rye. Might have gone a little heavy on that, but let's see. Now, I want to smell this before I add anything else to it. All right. That's interesting. I would expect it to smell more heavy on the rye, but the Old Forester must be kind of chilling it out a little bit. So let's get rid of that box. All right. So Ardbeg 10. Boom. Jonathan, nice to see you. Let's see. Whiskey is a drink. All right, so I already said Trainsar Evil. All right, so this one's going to be half a part of Ardbeg. So let's see. All right. Oop, that's a little much. So I think I'm going to do 1 for that and 1 sloppy one for me. All right. Ooh, I love Ardbeg. It's so good. All right, now we're going to give this guy a little swirly. I think I'm going to leave this graphic up, but I'm going to shrink it just a bit, just in case anybody's coming in so they'll know what I'm drinking. But let's see. All right. So interesting. The color is actually fairly nice. It maintained that nice darkness, which makes sense. The Ardbeg's not going to lighten it up, especially at a 1/4%. Would suggest in future episode of this concept, make your blends days ahead of time and put in sample bottles to marry can make a big difference. I thought about doing that, Donner, actually, and maybe I will. That's end of point. I may very well do that. We'll see how tonight works out. But definitely crossed my mind. How old is the oldest open bottle you've got there? 7 years. Well, actually, so let me change that answer. So I have a bottle that I bought with the first time that I ever went out shopping for the channel, and at this point I just kind of don't want to finish it because not only is it terrible, it's McClelland? I think McClelland, Pete. Yeah, so I don't really want to finish it, but also just sentimental value. So that's been open for about 7 years. All right. Did a Glenmo Signet with Armagnac is the most very interesting. That actually does sound pretty good. All right, so I will tell you that smell-wise, this does not smell very rye forward, but neither does the Michter's. So I appreciate this running from 8 to 9 instead of 9 to 10. Either one works for me, but it's nice to have dinner at 10:30. Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. I felt like I ended up stepping on some other channels, and I know that I'm not like the most reliable streamer. I'm hoping to be. Actually, I've been having fun, and as long as I can come up with fun concepts that I can kind of rotate through, I could see myself streaming indefinitely. Part of it is, I mean, doing the Wheel of Doom is super fun for me, but it's hard to maintain like a ton of energy week after week after week, just not having a clue what I'm even going to be drinking. In this case, at least I had somewhat of an idea. All right. Anyway, so let's go ahead and have a taste of this because the nose is really not giving me much of anything. If anything, I would say it's heavy on the bourbon and light on the rye, and the Ardbeg kind of disappears. So, actually, no, the rye's coming out a little bit more, but it's still pretty. It's not, the Ardbeg's not showing up, but I bet it's going to show up in the taste. All right. So, cheers everybody to, what's today? Thursday? Happy Thursday, everybody. Thirsty Thursday. Ooh, wow. Okay, hold on. Whew. That drink high. I mean, I know the Old Forester is 57.5. What is the Michter's Bay? Michter's Bay. What did I even get the word bay from? 42.4. So it's not coming from that. And Ardbeg is what, 50? Or no, 46. So it must be the Old Forester. I had a beer before this because there's been times I've come on the stream and it's been my first sip of anything for the night, and it's hit, just been like, oof, wow, in the mouth. But it must be the 57.5 coming from the Old Forester that hit that heavy. I'm here for the alliteration and staying for the whiskey. I like it. But enjoying the D&D stream. You all have a good vibe as a group, and of course Ed is frigging hilarious. Totally agree, Donner Pass Whiskey. If any of my mods would like to link the Dungeons and Drams stream, you guys should all check it out if you haven't. I really am enjoying it a lot, but I'm not gonna spend too much time on that because I talk about it a lot. But it's fun. Like, I just really enjoy it, and we're a good group of people who just laugh the whole time. So, anyway, getting back to the whiskey here. So here's where I'm gonna start with a couple of negatives here because, well, I should have another sip. Hold on. And then I actually might even proof this down just a tad. Well, I don't want to proof it down until after I've put it up against other things, though. But I might maintain that for later. Thanks, Steve. So here's the negative. It kind of detracts adding the Michters to the Old Forester, I think. So Old Forester 1920 is like one of my favorite whiskeys. Certainly, especially for the price, like really good value. The Michter's rye, it's okay, but it's not adding really anything other than just a ton of rye. And more like young rye, I guess. I'm not sure what the age statement on this. I know it's no age statement, but yeah, it doesn't say. I would guess it's probably not super old, but it does taste a little young. So when I'm tasting this, what I'm really getting a lot of is just alcohol and then rye, and the Ardbeg does come through in the finish, which is impressive considering it's diluted to like 20% of this thing. Let me try another sip. So tell me what you guys are drinking out there while we're doing this. Speaking of Old Forester, did you guys hear that Jackie Zykan is leaving? I saw the tweet from Fred Minnick earlier today. So she's the master taster at Old Forester, which is unfortunate. And I'm curious how it's going to go. I mean, a company like Old Forester, I have to imagine that they're not dumb. Like, they're going to have some people in reserve who can probably pick, as good, if not close to. So I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of change in quality. But what I do think might happen is maybe some of the single barrels might not be so great. Or at least not of the quality that they were. But we'll have to see, I'm drinking oatmeal. It's 8:17 a.m. here in China. Oh, hey, Freed. That's right. You are in China. I forgot about that. That's great. I don't know if I've missed it, but you haven't been putting out any videos lately, at least not ones that I've seen. Although, honestly, I've been paying more attention to the D&D channel lately than watching other whiskey tubers, so I might have missed it. Finishing the neck pour of my Alexander Murray Deanston 17. Nice. Finished the Mortlark 16 pour on Wild Turkey Long Branch now. Well, that's a bit of a change. Creaming soda and coffee in my glass. It's lunchtime here, though. Okay. Creaming soda. Is that like cream soda? I wonder if that was just hypo, but cream soda, underrated. Delicious. Lefroy Carchis 2021. Very nice. I liked that a lot. High ABV. Good stuff. Thompson Brothers 11-year blended malt, 50%. Various unnamed Speyside. Okay. Okay, I'll have to double check for that, Freed, because I actually like your videos a lot. Diet Sundrop, getting over allergies. Okay, I'm drinking fermented and distilled oatmeal made with barley. Very good, Eric. On to Laphroaig 10. All right, so I'm going to put this one to the side. This one's not doing it so much for me in that I think it's detracting from the 1920. And the Ardbeg actually might have been a good addition without the Mictors, but we'll see. That's going to sit out for probably about a half hour, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, so let's put these to the side, and let's go ahead and get to our second... Whoops, wrong button. Let's get to our second blend here. All right, so this one's from Zoltan. So this one will actually be pretty fun to mix. But first, I've recruited one of my glasses to be my cleaning glass. So I'm going to pour a little water into my... There we go. I'm going to try to not contaminate as much as is reasonable here on a live stream. All right, let's grab this Westland Glencairn. So we need to grab our Glenmoray Port Cask, which I was none too impressed with when I first had it. Hey, Bourbon Bites. Yeah, I was going on early, Bourbon Bites. Everybody who is interested, check out... actually, Like Time Whiskey will be on after me, and then Bourbon Bites will be on after them. So 10 o'clock Eastern for Bourbon Bites. All right, so then we are doing the Portwood from Dalmore, and then a Tale of Winter, which is a very interesting choice. Best blend is always 50% Ardbeg 10 mixed with another 50% of Ardbeg 10. I agree, Nick. Although I gotta say, I would probably go 70% Corey Vrecken and probably like 30% Corey Vrecken. That'd be probably my preference. Let's see. Why are all mods on channels Ukrainian flags? Should seriously consider leaving politics out of your content? I don't know. I guess, whatever. I guess maybe Steve has that. All right. So we'll do 1 part Glenmoray. You can see how much of this is gone. Was not a fan. I bought these I bought these in January of last year. Or maybe this year? When did I buy the Springbank? I guess it would have been last year. I don't know, whenever. But 1 part. Sorry. Hard to do too many things at once. All right. So we're doing 1 part Glenmoray. We'll do 1 part Dalmore. So yeah, I've had the Glenmoray for like over a year, and I still haven't reviewed it because I'm just like, nah. Funny story about the first time I cracked this Dalmore. So I had made a contact at Dalmore. I think her name was Jessica or Jennifer, something like that. I haven't talked to her in a long time. She ended up leaving the business, and she ended up meeting me in New York City because I happened to be there for some training. And so as I was walking into the as I was walking out of the training with a whole bunch of my peers, this pretty good looking woman comes up to me, and she's like, "Hey, are you Bill?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I had told her, where I worked and around what time I'd get out. And so all these guys, they kind of stop with me. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm Bill." And then she just hands me a bag with 2 bottles of whiskey in it. I got the regular Dalmore and the Portwood. And she's like, "Here you go." And I was just like, that was a wonderful interaction, especially to have around people who don't really know me very well, to just be like, who is this mystery man who's getting free whiskey? So then I ended up popping the bottle of Dalmore Portwood on the train on the ride home. And there was a woman who we didn't know. I was with 2 other people that I did know. And there was a woman that I didn't know who was sitting in kind of like our 4-seater little train thing. And the 3 of us had some. And then I looked at her, I was like, "Hey, do you want to have some of this with us?" And she was just like, "Oh, no, I don't really like whiskey." And I was like, "Well, it's finished in port." And she's like, "Oh, well, I do like port." So we ended up just drinking with a stranger on the train. And it was overall kind of a fun experience. Nice little story. I just spilled it on my hand. All right, so let's see. So cheers from Vegas. Nice. Everyone, not sure what you mean. That's just one of our mods, and he's entitled to whatever. All right. So Bourbon Bites, just out of curiosity, because I'll give it a little plug. What are you doing on your live stream tonight? All right, let's go ahead and give this a nose. I like that you put the Jolly Roger flag, Eric. I actually don't know what that second flag is. Looks like cotton candy. Ooh, this one smells really good. Steve. All right, let's well, you know what? I don't give a crap what you guys do. You're in the chat. Have fun. This one smells really good. This one might be a bit of a winner for me. Oh, you're doing the Talisker. Fantastic. That's right. So Bourbon Bites did a Patreon post the other day where he basically said, like, hey, what do you guys want me to do in the live stream? And I voted for him to do just kind of a tour of Talisker, and he is, and I'm very excited about that. Ooh, this one smells so good. I mean, I'm a sucker for I'm a sucker for sherry finish, but port is also kind of up there. Now, if I remember, this is Marsala wine cask finish for the Tale of Winter, so we'll see what happens. All right. I'm thinking that I'm picking up mostly the Dalmore. The Marsala is not really showing up here. Excuse me. Actually, you know, Alexander, you bring up a good point. So, in the chat, let's do a little thing because this is fun to do. Let's do this. I need to figure this out, but it should be interesting because I'm generally interested in all of your opinions on this one. So let's do stream settings, viewer activity. You think? How do I do the poll? I'm about to give up because I don't want to just stare at my computer while we're talking. Oh well. I thought that I could do. No, I guess not. Okay. Anyway, I was gonna ask. So tell me in the chat, what do you think? What is your favorite Talisker? Do you like the 10? Do you like the Storm? Do you like the Dark Storm? Have any of you had the what is it? Something Sky? Like there's another one that's not available in the States here. I'm curious because I haven't had the Dark Storm. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I personally like the 10 a lot better than the Storm, but the Storm is quite a bit cheaper, and so it's kind of like it gets in there where is it starting to become more worth it because it's a value, or is it just you just spring for the 10 and you just go for it? Donner Pass says none. Sean says Distiller's Edition. Okay, I haven't had that one either. I've only tried the 10, and to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan. I've only had the 10 and Storm, 10 all day. Talisker 57 North was great, but it has been discontinued. I haven't tried that one. What's the one I'm thinking of? What's the, is it like, I think it's like something about Sky, because it's, you know, the island there. Dark Storm for the win. Haven't seen it for a few years, though. Is it travel retail only? Maybe. That would make some sense. All right. Anyway, I need to have a sip of this because it smells delicious. I'm just nosing it because it really smells very good. All right. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, that holds up. That holds up real well. This is an interesting choice because it's mixing three things that are similar and seeing if they kind of blend well. Whereas the first one was a bit of a reach, like a little experimental, adventurous, etc., etc. This one was kind of a safe bet. And Zoltan, you did a pretty good job. Here's what I don't like about it, because I think this is a more interesting way to start these off, because all of these are going to taste fine, I bet, unless somebody, you know, does the unholy trinity of Johnny Walker Red, Proper 12, and Black Velvet. But, you know, we'll see. The thing I don't love about this one is there's an oiliness here that I'm not sure where it's coming from. I'm going to say the Tale of Winter, but it's unpleasant the way it just kind of hangs around. Normally, I don't mind oiliness in a whiskey at all. In this one, it's holding on to a flavor that I'm not crazy about. It's almost a little sulfury, which is strange. I wasn't expecting that. So, there is Talisker Sky. Okay, I didn't think I was crazy. Okay. You know, this one's really getting. I think it's the Tale of Winter that's really sticking out. I want to say this one was a slightly higher ABV, which would make sense why it's overtaking a bit. 46. That's not that much. Although I would guess these two are 4. No, this one's 46.5, and this one is 40. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the Glenmorangie. Although you guys know I didn't love that one, so it's possible I'm a little biased. Either way, that one's probably in the forefront at the moment, but it's very different, and I'm a little unimpressed that it didn't didn't become better than the sum of its parts. But I'm interested to see what happens to it as it sits out for a little while. All right, so let's get into our third one here. So we're going to move the Tale of Winter. You know, when I see the Tale of Winter, it actually just kind of makes me sad for Game of Thrones. It's just, I know it's not quite right, but it reminds me of it. And then I remember everything that Game of Thrones could have been. It just makes me sad. All right, cool. So let's wash this guy out. I still have that Roosevelt song stuck in my head that was playing during the waiting screen. I might have to put that on later when I'm cleaning up. All right, so lastly, we are going to go with the Tyrconnell Madeira cask and the Caol Ila 12. All righty, let's pull this guy out, and let's pull this one out. Excuse me while I whip this out. All right, well, let's get to some alchemy. So we've got 1 part Tyrconnell, so we'll start there. Hi, Bill. Late to the party and very late here in Madrid. Hey, David. Nice to see you. Now, if I remember correctly, I tried all 3 of these. There's 3 of these 10-year aged finished Tyrconnells. There's a Madeira, there's a port, and there's a sherry. And then there's the regular 10-year. Now, if I remember correctly, I didn't love any of the 3. Not many people know this, but Talisker is my safe word. I would imagine that'd be hard to say if you had like something in your mouth, but you know. But you know what, Eric? You're a pro, and I bet you could figure it out. All right, let's go ahead and mix this guy up. Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, second to you guys, of course. Bourbon Bites does have one of the best audiences. Everybody's very happy. Freed. Interested to hear what people think of port. Oh, I don't even know how to say that. Ruighe. Rui? Rouge? Rouge? I don't know. There's a Muscatel and sherry one too. Oh, is there really? Okay, I didn't know that. I again lost my contact. This is one of the tough things that's big. Oh, woe is me, right? But if you make associates and you make contacts within the whiskey world and you start getting stuff, like those people will leave the industry so fast. If you find an ambassador who stays for more than a year, like there's a good chance you're going to know that guy for or girl for a while. Most of them don't even last a year. So a lot of the people that I've known over the years are no longer available. All right, let's see. Mamuka says, Bill, I'm going to blame you for it. I'm going to mix Amarone, Nika from the Barrel, and Yellow Spot. Wow, that's... I don't know... Well, I know Aaron? I don't know. I don't know how to say that. But I know that one fine. Nika from the Barrel I know pretty well. Yellow Spot is one of my favorites. Only bottles I have in front of me. Hopefully it's going to be good. I'm going to guess that poor Yellow Spot's going to get just destroyed. It's not even going to show up. The Nika is probably going to... I don't know. I'd be interested to know what you end up thinking, Mamuka. Port Re. Okay, so that's how you say that. People in the wine and whiskey industry are constantly hopping around unless they live on an island. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. All right, so as we nose this, there is some sweetness coming from the Madeira cask that I actually really like. And I'm just curious. Yeah, okay. I was trying to remember if Caol Ila, obviously it's peated, but I was trying to remember if there was like a sweetness to it at all, and at least not on the nose out of the bottle. So it's definitely coming from the Madeira cask, which is great because I really think this bottle needs some help. So let's see. That actually smells really good. That's interesting. Madeira plus peat. That's not a combination I would have put together. That's really interesting. I'm curious if it says where the Madeira is coming from. Results in a silky smooth taste with hints of spice accompanied by raisins, fruit tones, and honey with a long, spicy yet soft finish. Meh. Had a dram of Tyrconnell 16 Oloroso and Muscatel cask finish at a bar in Oh, the 16. Yeah, I've had the 16 before. The I want to say it was a sherry finish 16 that I had. That was super good. Let's see. In Dingle last month, best Irish I've had to date. It's an older release, but wish I had a bottle. Yeah, is it like a green tin? Because that's the one that I've had, which I don't think is what you're talking about. It's fun talking whiskey with you guys. It's great. Like, I'm actually really enjoying doing these streams again. I don't know why I ever stopped. But anyway, all right. Cheers, everybody. Let's have a sip of this. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Let's try over here. That sounds better. That one's perfect. All right. Cheers. Oh, no, it's falling flat. Oh, no, it's... meh. That's... I was excited for a second, and then I wasn't. And then it got a little better, and then it didn't. The finish is okay. I'm going to have to give that one another sip. So, immediately, it's just kind of like, meh, I'm here. You know, it didn't blend whatsoever. Brown Label. Okay, yes, I've seen that one, but I haven't tried that one. There's a place near me that had a lot of those on the shelf. Not that particular one, but a lot of different finished Tyrconnells of the 16-year variety. So it might have been some of the ones that you're talking about. I say a lot. It was like 2 or 3, but it was more than one. I don't know about this one. So Caol Ila 12 was not like a fantastic whiskey for me, and neither was this one. So the combination is bound to not be incredible, but it's going to be something worth trying. So, all right, here's what I don't like about it, and then what I do like about it. So what I don't like about this is that the flavor itself doesn't take really much from the Madeira. Like, I would expect the finished in Madeira to kind of lift it up a bit, and for it to kind of sparkle on my tongue, if I'm going to be, silly about the phrasing. But like, it should have had like more like, whew, yeah, that's good. And then the peat kind of brings it down a little bit, and that's what I was expecting. But that didn't happen. Instead, it was just flat like the whole time. And then eventually on the finish, the Madeira did come out just a little bit, and it was a little sweeter, and that was tasty, like really tasty. So that's cool. But then I don't know. Like, I kind of want this to be a little better. Thanks for the super chat, Mamuka. Cheers to all. I wish everyone wealth, happiness, and prosperity for many years to come. Wow, that's nice of you. I would like some wealth. All right. So, well, I guess you just gave me some, so thank you. So it might be growing on me a little bit. All right. So let's see. It is 8:36, which is perfect. So this one's been sitting here for probably about 20 minutes. This one probably about like 15, maybe 10. And then this one, obviously, like a couple minutes. So let's try to... no bottle giveaway tonight. Unfortunately, I didn't even make enough from the super chats to cover the bottle giveaway last week. So I think I'm going to rethink that one somehow. I don't know if Jason does it different or something. Like, obviously he has way more people in here, but like, if I don't even make enough to cover the shipping, it's kind of not worth it. You know what I mean? But I'll do other giveaways. Actually, since we're talking about giveaways, I'm not going to do it tonight. Probably next week, actually. So I started working with a company. What is it? Leaton something. I'll know by the time I do whatever. It doesn't matter. You guys know them as the company that makes the glasses that have like the Grand Canyon and Mount Everest on it. So they came to me a couple of days ago and they were like, hey, we're going to release 4 new mountain peaks. And I actually remember thinking those are very cool glasses, because not everything has to be about like, is this the perfect way to nose or taste a glass or a whiskey? Especially in a rocks glass. And I was just like, you know what? I actually want to help support this thing, and they have a new Kickstarter starting. So I will I'll end up putting a link in the bio. Yeah, Leaton. That's how they say it. Leaton. Anyway, so I'll put a link down to their Kickstarter below after the stream's over, but they have a new Kickstarter for these 4 new peaks, and they're going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be doing a video on them for their Kickstarter page, which is pretty awesome. And then I'll probably actually put out just a regular video on the glasses next week so you guys can see them a little bit more up close. I'm going to do some cool B-roll this weekend and everything. I'm actually looking forward to it because not only do I think the glasses are cool, but also it's like I've been really loving doing the creative side of the videography lately, or not really lately, for years at this point. And sometimes it's hard to find inspiration, and this is going to be inspiration. I've been like putting these videos together in my head, and like, what do I want this to look like? So anyway, I digress, but I do think this will be very cool. And if you guys are into the idea, check the description down below just to check out their Kickstarter. That would help me out, but more so, it's just a cool product. All right, back to the whiskey. So, I already have 4 each Grand Canyon. Oh yeah. So the whole point of this thing. So I think next week I asked them to send me, the glasses, obviously the new ones, cause I got to check them out. But I also was like, hey, can you send me the Grand Canyon and the Everest one? Cause I kind of want them. And then they were like, sure. And I was like, hey, you know what? The risk of asking for too much, can you send me another box of the Everest and the Grand Canyon? Because I'd like to give one away. So they did. So I ended up getting, I think it's 2, it's a box set of 4. So it's 2 each of the Everest and the Grand Canyon. So I'll have that to give away either next week or the following week. But we'll see. Are you serious, Eric? Because you didn't like... I'm sure you're joking because you didn't like the Glyph Molecular Whiskey, but I don't want to blow up your spot if you're not joking. All right, so I'm all the way back at the first one here. So let me switch this around. So I'm back on this one, the bourbon and Michter's and et cetera, et cetera. It smells pretty awesome, actually. This one opened up a bit as far as the nose goes. The ABV tamed itself just a tad. However, here's what I'm gonna do. All right, Eric was joking because he's like, I'm gonna call it shit in a glass bottle. All right, I'm gonna add a couple of drops of water here because this one needs to kind of tame itself down to the ABV of the other ones, or at least to something that I can get more than just alcohol on. That helped. So this is really going to come down to, do I like a bourbon with rye? Do I like a port finished Scotch, or do I like a peated Scotch? Which is going to be, I mean, on the surface, I would probably pick peat, but we'll see. All right, so Chris actually had a question here. So I recently got into trying out whiskeys. So far, I've tried Monkey Shoulder, Larceny, and Crown XO. Okay. And major recommendations around 40 to 60 price point for a noob. So I think any for a noob. Was thinking about Four Roses Single. That's a great choice. So here's the thing. So you have tried. You've kind of been around the block even with your first 3. Larceny is one that I always tell people to try, so it's good that you've tried that one. Monkey Shoulder is pretty much like a de facto suggestion by most whiskey tubers. I've suggested it. I don't know that I super agree with it anymore. I just think it's not as good as everybody says it is. It's fine, but you get over it pretty quickly. Like probably before you're even done with your first bottle, you'll be like, all right, I'm done with this. Excuse me. And then I haven't actually had the Crown XO, but I've had enough Crown Royals to have an idea what it tastes like, so that's cool. So I always love questions like this because it's fun to just kind of think about. So what would I recommend for somebody new to whiskey if they've tried those 3 already? So the Larceny, I think you could probably do something a little bit better with bourbon. So where you're talking about Four Roses Single, I would almost suggest the single barrel will be fantastic. You should get that if you really want to. It's going to be a little higher ABV, might be a little bit stronger than what you're looking for, but I don't know your taste. If you're going to consider something different, go for the small batch instead, the Four Roses small batch. But now I'm going to go completely off the rails here. And I'm actually, what do you guys think about the Old Forester 86 for somebody new? I think that's a pretty solid bourbon, but especially for the price. I always like to look at my bourbons here. Woodford Reserve's usually a pretty good choice. Knob Creek is okay if you like the taste of wood. Ooh, 1792 small batch wouldn't be a bad idea either. So those are the bourbons. But let's go. So if you haven't had Jameson yet, you should try some Jameson too. That's just an Irish whiskey. Pretty entry level Irish whiskey for regular Jameson, but fantastic. If you are feeling spicy, go for the Black Barrel version of Jameson. That's even better. But I can't think of the price points for either one of those at the moment, so I'm not sure. So let's see what else. All right, let me turn around. Looking over here, we've got some ryes. I wouldn't suggest you get into rye quite yet, but you know, do whatever you want. What do you guys think? Springbank? Springbank. No, we don't want any noobs to be trying Springbank. They'll take them all off the shelves for us. Let's see what else. Oh, I love this. This is my favorite. Looking at all my whiskeys and trying to suggest things to people. Like, I love doing this when people come over. It's funny. I meet random, like, I'm obviously a dad, and so I'm at all these kids' things, and I meet people, and if we end up having them over, I'm just like, come over to my house. I have all the whiskeys in the world, and like, it'll be awesome, and I'll just get you hammered. It'll be fun. And it's funny because the look on the dad's faces, they're just like, oh my gosh, I struck gold. Like, usually, a lot of the dads are kind of boring. It's like, oh, what do you do? Oh, I'm in technology. What do you do? Oh, I like cars. I like sports. But, it's never like, oh my gosh, come over and check out the thing I like. And I have a lot of, okay, so moving along. Johnnie Walker Black is actually not a bad choice, especially if you're still in an entry level. That would be a good one to try. I'm going to stop there, only because I haven't looked at the chat in a while. But there's plenty of options for you. Wild Turkey 101 is another great choice. I saw that one come up in the... Joseph Magnus is a fantastic whiskey, but it's also $100. So I wasn't going to suggest that just for the sake of the price point, and he's new. But yeah, man, if you want to spend the money, Joseph Magnus, the triple cask, oh, so good. So good. Bourbon Bites loves his knobby wood. He sure does. But drive, don't dads and drink. What? Okay. Anyway, a lot of other suggestions coming through. So if anybody's watching this in the future, check out the live stream replay chat, and if you're looking for suggestions, or just ask. All right. Stop derailing me, people. All right. So let's go ahead and try this Madeira sherry port. I keep wanting to say sherry finish. The port finished whiskey. Clifton, that was good. He says, taking notes on how to pick up daddies. All right. So now that I'm going to have another sip where Clifton doesn't make this go down the wrong pipe. Let's try that again. Okay. Again, I don't think this one is better than the sum of its parts. And although I could have let this one kind of hang out for a while and maybe it would have blended or married a little bit nicer, I truly think that my dislike of A Tale of Winter is probably what's killing this one for me. So I'm gonna skip that one. All right, so let's go to the next. This is our Kalila and Tyrconnell Madeira. By the way, just if anybody's curious, check the description below. I have a Patreon. Supporting me on there is wonderful because it helps me to buy interesting whiskeys. So anything that you can donate helps a lot, especially if you're somebody who really enjoys the channel and maybe you kind of just, can't make it to the streams or do whatever. But Patreon is fantastic. I have a cool thing to tell you guys that will help if you are a Patreon or patron. But let me get through a little bit more of this tasting, and I'll tell you all about it. Thanks, Steve. This one's good. This one's starting to grow on me. But the reason for it is just because it tastes like peat, not because it's a good blend. Right now, I'm leaning towards the first one as being my winner, which is funny because right off the bat I wasn't psyched about it, and I was more psyched about the middle one. But this one didn't. I should get rid of this graphic. It's taking too much of the screen. Okay, I'm not loving the Madeira. In fact, I think I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. Like, do I want to do an elimination, or do I want to just at the end surprise you with the answer? I think I'm probably going to do that, especially if I stick to the 3 different mixes. So, I think I need to cleanse the palate. So David saying this is an old label for the Turkana from 2017. I definitely didn't get this in 2017. I would say I probably got this in maybe the end of 2019 or possibly the beginning of 2020. It was before the pandemic, but it wasn't long before. It doesn't have anything on it that says when it was made. Oh, holy crap! You're right. It is 2017. Okay, apparently they just had stock sitting around that they didn't send me for a couple of years. Okay, yeah, I won't question you again. Man, nice. It is, yeah, oh well. So, Eric, what did you mix with, Oban. So I don't have the Oban 14, but I do have the Oban Little Bay. Whoops. And I do have some Joseph Magnus somewhere. Unless yeah, I do have it. All right, I'm gonna drink with you, Eric. Hold on. Wait, do I not? Where's my Joseph Magnus? Oh no! Where are you? I don't know where it is. I just redid all my shelves, so I have no idea where anything is. Where are you? I bet it ended up on the bottom shelf here. Although it really doesn't belong there. Where are you? It has a very unique top. Oh, here it is. Now, one thing I did was actually, because I saw this coming, I knew one of you would suggest something that I wanted to do. So let's see. Yeah, I agree. The Oban Little Bay, I mean, I've drank quite a bit of it, but it's not what it needs to be for the price it is. At least in my opinion. Okay, I need to wash this out. Sorry. I will get back to what I already poured, but, you know, you intrigued me. And I have no willpower. So I'm going to derail myself, do a little bit. What do you think, Eric? Like half and half? I'm doing half and half. Little bit more. All right. So there's a 1. Close your eyes and listen very carefully for the tiny voice that says, "Drink me, drink me." Yes. That happens on Fridays sometimes. There we go. All right, let's see what this does. Gotta wet those corks. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to put that to the side, Eric. I'm going to let that sit for a couple minutes. That way I don't spoil my palate to actually choose a winner, because that's more important. All right, I'm going to take one more sip of each one of these, and then we'll see what happens. So that one's growing on me, but I think it's growing on me because it basically just tastes like Old Forester 1920. That one's out of the running. Sorry, Zoltan. Sorry, after the Madeira, I need to... All right, let's try that again. That one's not bad. Like, if I picked up a bottle and it tasted like this... First off, I'd say, like, what the hell are you doing? Mixing Irish and Scottish, they're going to get into a fight. But, I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I'm going to give it to the Tyrconnell Madeira from Ronan. I think I'm gonna. It was a close call though between the first one and the third one. This, I will say, Ronan, you had a good intuition here. The idea of blending peat with Irish whiskey to try to make something that was good, it hasn't been done enough. And so it's a little bit novel. And when you add in that Madeira cask finish, that's weird. And it does give it a little bit of sweetness that I think Caol Ila needs. So, excuse me. Yeah, congratulations, Zoltan. I mean, sorry, not Zoltan. Ronan. So I will be in touch, Ronan, and if anybody else would like to, I could definitely use some more entries on the Blend Bills bar. It would be great. So just look down in the description below. There's the full list of all of my whiskeys available, and then there's the full list. There's a little questionnaire where you can submit, how many parts of what whiskey. Whole thing, I can't say how long it will take you because you may be poring over my list of whiskeys, but the whole thing probably won't take you more than like 10 minutes, really, maybe 5. So help me out and submit some suggestions so that I can keep this going, especially if you guys like this concept, which would be interesting to know if you do like this concept. I'm going to try that Joseph Magnus in a minute, but let me tell you guys a couple of quick stories here. So number 1, I am working with... I'm working with Balcones to do a single barrel pick, and I am so excited for it. We're going to be doing a single barrel pick of their single malt, and I'm going to be flying over to Texas. They're going to, do a barrel pick dinner, where I'm going to have some people who are my patrons. They're going to have first crack to kind of meet me there and be part of this whole picking process. And I think that'll be great. So Balcones is in Texas. Anybody who'd like to, of course, you're welcome to fly out there. But if you guys are part of the Patreon, you will be learning more and more about this as time goes on, and we'll see how this whole thing goes. But I'm like really, really excited about this because the 3-chord pick, the whiskey itself was fantastic. The experience almost made me never do another single pick again. And it just has to do with the distribution and the fact that it was a pain in the ass. So if you are the kind of person that is interested in Balcones, especially their single malt, this is going to be something that you're going to want to get your hands on. Before I even taste it, I guarantee you it's going to be awesome because their single malt is just fantastic. All right. Anyway, I'm going to film while I'm out there. So there was another thing I wanted to tell you guys. But let me get into this so I can see if I can remember. All right. What the heck? No, I talked about that. Talked about the glasses, talked about the Balcones. I don't know what else there was. There was something else I was going to talk about, but oh well. Let's see. Gee, can you tell us a bedtime story? I sure can. Do you mean the Six Islands? Nope. Waco, isn't it? Is it Waco? I don't know, actually. I asked their person there, like, where should I fly into? Because I have no idea. I'm hopeful to get Clifton from Bourbon Bites out there. I think that'd be great. He was interested at least, but we'll see what life brings. Be happy to see any of the rest of you there. I also think just Balcones in general is going to be cool. I may very well name it after some part of the new D&D stream, but we'll have to see. Because I'm also potentially doing a single barrel pick with Jason from the Mash and Drum, and Scott. He's part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. Dungeons and Drams is likely to be doing a single barrel pick with them as well. And I've got some cool names. I don't even know what we're picking yet, but I've got cool names. So, all right. So, Eric, let's talk about your blend here. This is out of the running, but just worth doing anyway. Smells fantastic. You should have submitted this, Eric. That smells so good. I think what it is hold on. So it's definitely not the Oban that's smelling this way. It's definitely the Joseph Magnus that's smelling this way. For those that don't know, this is a triple cask finished, sherry, cognac casks, and ex-bourbon, of course. All right, so let's have a taste of this. Cheers. Pretty tasty. This is another one that I think I need to let sit out for a little while because it's definitely not well married yet. So this is good though, because this has taught me that the next time I do this, I'm going to do all these blends ahead of time. That way they can have a chance to kind of get to know each other. But awesome. And I forget who suggested. I think Donner Pass might have suggested that earlier. So really good suggestion, and I'm going to be doing that. But Eric, I totally agree that Oban doesn't bring enough smoke to this. So you know what I have on the table, readily available, is the Ardbeg 10, and I'm just going to do just a little plop. There we go. All right. Let's see what this does. Give it a little swirl, a little swirly. Let's see. Get a little ASMR. No, it doesn't make any noise. Oh well. No, that was a mistake. Too much. And I didn't even put that much in there. I liked it before, but you're right. It didn't, like, the Oban didn't really do anything. I think I just liked it because the Joseph Magnus is incredible. But anyway, all right, so I think that about does it for this stream. Kind of gone a little off the rails here. But thank you guys all for joining me. I know this is a new time. Hopefully this new time works out well for you guys, because I think I'll probably stick at this time from 8 to 9. And I'll continue to do it for a while. I didn't want to step on some of the other channels, and just in general, they might have an established group of people, and I want to let you guys, I know how you all like to kind of flow from one live stream to the next, and I think that's really awesome. So I'm happy to have started your night. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary, and I hope you had a great night. I certainly did. I think this is a really cool concept, and I'm very happy to keep doing it. So make sure you submit some stuff so I have a little bit more to choose from, and we'll see how it goes. All right, cheers everybody.